Alright, welcome to another video. This is Jerry again, and today we're looking at a 2021 or 2022 we should say Kia Sportage. This is the brand new model for New Zealand market. This particular one is the base model, so we have just got this one in the dealership a few weeks ago. I finally got my hands on it. This is how the vehicle looks like. It's finishing the white color. Very good look for the new model, space and size. So here's the key start, lock, unlock. Obviously hold and you'll unlock the tailgate. Hold that. Tailgate opens from the back, just like this. It's a very spacious at the back. You get spare wheel underneath. Very good size overall, so this definitely has a little bit more room compared to the previous generation. And let's unlock the boot. This is how the back looks like, and the driver's seat is my sitting position, so I've got tons of knee room, tons of leg room. It's definitely much more spacious compared to the previous generation. What I particularly found interesting is the sitting position is actually quite low, so I feel like I'm sitting in the vehicle, very comfortable, and that's the difference between the previous one. The previous one sits a little bit higher, so my legs a little bit high up sort of thing. So yeah, very cool. Like these door handles, very futuristic. And open the door. Let's have a look at the front. So as standard, you do have a 17-inch two-tone finish alloys plus LED daytime running lights. This grille looks very good looking. And it's the blinker for you. Cool. Even if it's a base model, I think still looks very nice. Only thing it doesn't have is just the keyless entry and keyless start, which is a little bit shame. Where a lot of cars these days will have that particular feature as standard. This is how the front looks like. Let's jump in. And full digital dash at the front is standard, plus the infotainment screen. And the gear selector controls, you're missing quite a lot of buttons here. Obviously this is the base model. By the standards, you do have things like adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning, and blind spot detection as well, plus rear traffic cross alert and pre-collision warning and emergency braking. Let's switch it on. Nice digital display over there with obviously speedo, fuel tank, trip odometer, trip information, all the things. You get auto lights, indicator on the right hand side, windscreen on the left hand side. The very small thing you find is the parking brake is actually located up here. Pull, that's on, and push is off. Again, it's a little bit different from the previous generation. I guess someone will have to get used to it. And nice touch. So this looks pretty much the same as the previous generation. You can just basically click radio button, it'll start playing the radio, and reverse camera plus parking sensor standard. So it's a very nice looking reverse camera, so it's got very sharp calibration, all the things, so that's pretty good. And as standard, obviously you get USB charging port, and one is USB A, one is USB C, and a 12-volt socket. Again, you can connect your iPhone and Android Auto to that particular screen. Down the bottom, gear shifter, neutral, drive, you get Tiptronic as well. And on the other side you get driving mode, switch left and right, allows you to go to eco, normal, sport and smart. So I guess most people will be okay with normal these days, otherwise smart is another option. Auto hold for the parking brake, and again cameras for the reverse camera. So everything's pretty simple from the inside, but the digital dash definitely has a little bit good futuristic look for it. And everything's quite well built. Fabric seats is soft. Obviously if you do go to higher spec, you will be able to get a higher engine, higher features with leather or heated or something like that. engine wise, this particular one is a 2-liter petrol engine. It performs just like the previous one, but I think personally the gear change, all that things, it's a little bit smoother. Yeah, let's hit on the road and have a drive. Alright, let's get started. So release the parking, so push the parking brake on and release the parking brake. Put on reverse. Acceleration is very easy actually. There's not much hesitation once you put the foot down. Obviously there's no turbo, so there's no turbo lag. The transmission works really well and smooth on the road. The road noise is not too much. It feels like a very easy car to cruise. It's not too powerful. If you used to drive a Kia Sportage 2.4 liter, or if you drive a 2-liter diesel Kia Sportage, or again something similar, you might find the power is not quite there, but it is okay for daily drive. See at the bottom, the vehicle actually has a speed recognition system that tells me that I'm over my speed limit, and the lane departure warning system is on as well, so that works pretty well. Just slowly go through here. Again, if it's just myself in the vehicle, so it's not loaded or anything like that, but I feel like pick up and go is pretty okay for me. And I've got very good visibility around large wing mirror, and I like this quarter glass, so it does help with the visibility. And the rear windscreen is nice and square. The suspension is okay. It's definitely not the most comfortable one. As an SUV, it could be better, I would say. But at this price point, I think overall it does the job. Don't think any cars on this price point will be able to perform any way better compared to this suspension. So it is pretty okay. Acceleration is there, you can feel the car is trying to pull over, but again it's not gonna be the sporty car or anything like that. And I can feel the lane keep assist is trying to find me on the steering. Don't like it, obviously you just press this button over here to disengage that. It's not a big deal. gauge. Overall, the turning, the cornering is very similar to the previous generation. I do feel the car sits just a little bit lower. It feels that the car sits a little bit lower, although it's actually quite a little bit larger on the body. But I feel like the turn is slightly better than the previous generation. Again, not by a big margin. Yeah, overall I quite enjoy it. It is a cool car to look at it from outside. The interior may miss a few things on the base model, but I'm pretty sure the higher spec will be able to have a lot more features for the owners. And power wise, for myself, 2 litre is totally okay. I wouldn't go for the diesel ones. And the new one will not have the 2.4 anymore, unfortunately, so you have the 1.6 litre turbo. So that will be a different experience from the 2 litre, so I can't speak for it just yet. But overall, I think this is a very good car for the money, all the things. 34,990 plus on costs. So that's it for us for this video. If you are interested in the vehicle, or if you're interested to order with us, we are at Ebbett Pukekohe in Auckland, and again the vehicle price is 34,990 for plus on costs for this particular model. And any questions, feel free to comment below. I will see you in the next video.